Hey, it's Joe Amoia, founder and creator of GPSforlove.com. Have you had your heart broken? Have you invested your heart and soul into a guy, and at the end of the day, you wind up with nothing? Have you given to your heart to a guy, the guy that you are absolutely positively sure was the one, but then ultimately he lied to you, he betrayed you, or even worse, he cheated on you, and now you're having a hard time trusting any guys? Or do you feel unlovable? You had parents who didn't give you the love you were really looking for, the only people that you ever really wanted to love you. And as a result, your self-worth and your self-esteem took a huge hit because you figured, if my own parents don't love me, I must not be good enough. Well, if so, I want you to pay close attention because today I'm creating a vital video. It's one that's going to help you recognize and deal with the pain that's actually stopping you from having the relationship that you really desire and deserve. See, here at GPS for Love, I'm all about let's get to the bottom. Let's go deep. Let's get to the truth of what's really going on. See, the only way to get over your past is to go through it. And most of us as human beings don't want to face the past. We want to run from it. We want to avoid it. We want to ignore it. We want to make believe it doesn't exist. And that causes us so much more pain in life because behind the scenes, what's really going on, the truth is what's preventing you from going forward. It's preventing you from finding and attracting the kind of guy that you're looking for. So I'm going to give you an example. There was a time in my life where I had taken care of my career. I got my doctorate. I had set up my practice. I was all ready for the next step in life. And so I was looking to get married and looking to have a family because that was really, really important to me. I grew up in a traditional Italian family where lots of people, lots of kids, lots of family members, and it was a great experience. And I wanted to have that for myself. So set out on that journey. You ever realize you have plans and life doesn't go the way you want it to? Well, that's exactly what was going on for me. So I was having a real hard time, just couldn't find the one. So finally I met a girl and seemed to be nice. We seemed to have some things, in common in the beginning. And so I decided to pursue that relationship because I really wanted to get married. And so because I wanted to get married so bad that I ignored a lot of the red flags. There were signals, there were signs all over way back in the very beginning. But my fear that I'll never find somebody and I'll never have what I was really looking for was too powerful for me. So I ignored those red flags. Ultimately, I wound up getting engaged to this person. And then, as you know, exactly 4 weeks before, we both came to our senses. We wound up calling off the wedding. But what I did at that point is I decided, I need to go. What happened? Like, why did this happen? Up until that point, I thought I was a pretty smart guy. I thought I was pretty intelligent. I never took crap from anybody. But yet I stayed in a relationship for 2.5 years where I was absolutely miserable. So I just had to look at it and say, what's going on here and get to the truth. And what I ultimately discovered, the truth for me was that my dad died when I was 15. And there was a huge void in my life. And I was trying to get back to that place. I ultimately wanted to have a son of my own because I had great memories of my relationship with my dad, all the experiences that we had throughout, the 15 years that I had him. And so my heart was aching for that. It was dying. And I was going to do everything I could, even if it meant selling my soul to the devil. And that's really what it felt like for me. So once I identified the truth and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. The reason I stayed in this relationship is because I wanted a family so bad. I wanted a son of my own to fill up that hole that was missing. And I identified the truth and then I dealt with it. Then I was able to go out and create the relationship I really wanted. And it was amazing that once I did that, a couple months later, I met the love of my life. And you all know how that all worked out. 15 years now, still going strong. So I know you're out there, you're reading blogs, you're reading books, you're purchasing programs saying, what is it? What can I do? How can I write my profile better? And I'm not saying that might not help some of you, but the reality for most of you, there's something else going on that's stopping you from having the relationship and the love that you really desire and deserve. So here at GPS for Love, we're all about taking action. We're all about going deep and getting to the truth of what's really going on. So I've got a little exercise for you, okay? Some mirror time. And that's for you to take a step out of your life and to identify the truth. Really get real with yourself. Look at your life as an observer and just kind of tune in because the answer is always there. You just need to know where to look and what questions to ask. And so just really look at it as an observer and ask yourself and just see, is it that maybe you're afraid of getting hurt? You've been hurt so much that you just can't take that risk again because it's just too painful to your heart. Or maybe, you just don't trust men. You've been jerked around and you've dated a ton of boys and you just been so disappointed and so frustrated and so hurt over and over and over again that you're just having a hard time opening up because you don't want to put yourself through that again. Or maybe you don't trust yourself. You've got a long history of making some really bad choices and decisions, and you don't know what the hell you're doing, which is perfectly okay because now you're at the truth. Or maybe, as I said earlier, you just don't feel good about yourself. Deep down, you don't feel worthy. You don't feel good enough. So you're looking for a man to validate you. You think that if you had a man and you had a relationship that you would feel better. And you know what? You will for a little while. That's exactly what happened to my ex. She was looking for someone to make her feel better, to complete her, as they say in Jerry Maguire. And she felt really good for 4 weeks after getting the ring. And then after that, all her stuff came to the surface. So I share this with you so you can understand there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You don't need to be fixed. You're simply a human being who's on a journey. But if you're going to get to where you want to go, you must identify the obstacles, the real obstacles, which are preventing you from having what you really want. And once you identify those obstacles, once you meet them head on, yeah, you may shed a few tears. You may have some realizations that, tug at your heart. But getting past it and getting through it is going to free you up to actually attract the real man and the real relationship that you're looking for. So once you identify the truth, the next thing you need to do is simply deal with it. Meet it head on. Now, you can either do that on your own, you can read books, you can search blogs, because once you identify the truth, there's lots of people out there who experience the same thing. Unfortunately, you're not, or fortunately, you're not the only one who's experiencing what you're going through, even if you think you are. And so just find somebody who's already been through it, who's already succeeded, who already knows what needs to happen to get past it and to go through it. And if you don't know how to do that because it's just really strong for you emotionally, you don't know what to do and you don't know where to go, then find someone who's qualified. Not just somebody who tells you what you want to hear, but somebody who's been through the same journey, somebody who understands how to get to the truth, and somebody who has the knowledge, the skills, and tools to help you overcome it so that you can get through it and get past it so you can go on and create the results you want. Now, I know it may sound difficult, but it's really not. Anytime you get to the truth, you identify it and deal with it, you're halfway home. The rest is simply a matter of doing the work. So that's your homework. Take some mirror time and identify the truth. Now, you can listen to this and go, oh, this is great, and do nothing with it. That's cool. Or you can really take that time to really sit back, observe, identify the truth. And so here's your test. I want you to identify that truth, and then I want you to share it with us in the comment section below. And there's two reasons for that. It's actually going to cause you to take action and actually do it. But secondly, in sharing, you're going to see you're not the only one who's experiencing what you're doing and what you're going through. And once you understand that, it's like, hey, you know what? I'm not alone. I'm not the only one going through that. And there's this energy, there's a freedom in that, because now you feel that you're part of a bigger world where we're all on the same journey. So go ahead, take that mirror time, identify your truth, and then share it below. As always, it's an honor and privilege. I'll see you next time. Much love.